Let's do it for Miami Dolphins. The pressure, he's in trouble. Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle. It's a Dolphin touchdown. Throwing deep upfield on the near side. Man open. Touchdown! He's got a man. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. He's got it for a touchdown! Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go!
What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday as we're coming out of quite the electric Super Bowl last night. It was a fantastic game. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Shout out to the homie PL. He says, your source info won me $160. You're my info agent, and agents get 6% and 6% of $169.60. So here's your commission with bonus. My membership pays for itself. With a smiley face. I appreciate you, PL, showing some love consistently here. Patreon member too. Good dude. Appreciate you, homie. Thank you very much, my good sir. I hope you didn't even tell me what info it was, so you can let me know on Patreon. Just inbox me. But man, if I'm making you money, bro, we doing something right, huh? So shout out to the homie PL. And shout out to everyone who came through for the live stream yesterday, man. Slower than normal, but hey, it was still a good time. And great game. Great game. Great game. If anyone watches Saturday Night Live and Alec Baldwin, you'll probably get that. It was just a great game. So, appreciate all of y'all. King Z305 rolling through. Let's just, I haven't done one of these in a while. Let's rock it. We haven't done one of these in a while. Shout out to everyone in the chat. PL, Brian Gonzalez, Florida-born, Kentucky-grown, Joseph, Aladino, Moss, Knight. Shout out to the homie Knight. Shout out to Charles Hilton, Jeff Premont, Upland, Canada, Red Horse Adventures, Gerald Rodriguez, Mark Papelka, Jeremiah Kelly, Big Heck, Hooked Up Joe, like I said, the homie King Z305 rolling through, 1 of 1, Destin Williams, Cool Iguana. How's everyone doing? Already 150 of you. Robert Thomason, already 150 of you. It's 176 of you now, sorry. King Short, smash that like button on your way through, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about latest report out of ESPN about Mitch Trubisky being a potential backup. On top of that, we're going to talk about the big announcement. Fangio, the announcement is expected this week. And we've already talked about how it's going to impact some defenders on this team. Well, friend of the show, homie Daniel Oifusi, he went ahead and wrote an article about it. We're going to go take a look at that. A lot of stuff from ESPN. Guys, has anyone checked out ESPN's preliminary power rankings for next year, baby? Dolphins top 10, just saying. So we're going to go over that. We got a lot to go over for a Monday coming out of the Super Bowl. And then tomorrow night, I will not be live. I'm going to be with the wife, be with the family. It's Valentine's Day. Enjoy your loved ones. Now, if anything major breaks, then okay, yeah, your boy will pull away. You already know what time it is, and we'll do something. But for the most part, I have no intention. Wednesday, I'll be live with Richmond and Ball Game. Thursday with Neil. Me and Neil will be doing a positional preview for the Miami Dolphins. As we're obviously getting into free agent content here. And then, like we do every year, Reasons top 10 free agent targets and honorable mentions, which really ends up turning into a list of like 20, 25 players. We're gonna be rolling through with that in the next couple weeks too. I'm gonna start getting going on that. We're going to talk about how the defensive staff is coming through. I see people asking about Sean Desai. We'll talk about that a little bit tonight. If you are not a Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside The NFL. I had an update this weekend. Did I put it on? I don't even remember if I put it on the YouTube channel. And if I didn't, that'll be coming for channel members tonight. But patreon.com/Phinside The NFL. Every week on Thursdays, we got exclusive content. I do a video called 3 Takes Thursday. Also, we just dropped some information on a running back interested in coming here. And yeah, I just had a Patreon update just a couple of days ago. So if you are not signed up, listen, it costs $2 a month. You can literally sign up for $20 for the year. All right. So it's not too bad. Go check it out. Patreon.com/Phinside The NFL. You'll always be plugged in there. And if you're a channel member already, you will be getting the info. I think it slipped my mind. But you know what? In fact, as I'm doing this right now, I will update the channel, the community tab for all of you members already, because I don't think I actually. But anyways, it's some information on Butch Berry. When I talked to, like I said, I was going to check in with someone I knew with the Canes. I did so, and it's just on that. So I talk about Butch Berry. I also talk about a running back that I've heard, if his current situation doesn't work out, he is very, very interested. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so that is going up right now for channel members only. If you go check the community tab right now, it is up. So go check that out. That is for channel members, though. You have to be a channel member. So if you are a channel member, you will see that right there. It is up. Sorry about that, but Patreon already had it. Patreon, they also get it. Like, you know, if you're a channel member, you get exclusive emojis. You get certain benefits Patrons don't get, and Patrons get certain benefits that channel members don't get. So, hey, it's a good way to support the channel. It's a good way to help out. But, yeah, if you're a channel member, boom, it's up right now. Go check the community tab. If you're a Patreon, again, you can become a Patreon for as low as $2 a month. It's up there, too. So, check out that if you haven't. And, yeah, we got a ton of stuff to go over for a Monday, like I said. And I do want to reiterate what I said, because I know not everyone watching right now was watching yesterday. Shout out to No Name Fins for becoming a member, and I hope No Name Fins is doing well, and I hope he is well on his road to recovery, joining the Pro Bowl. Appreciate you. So, yeah, because obviously, you know, I totally lost my train of thought. Oof, that rarely ever happens, but it just did, right out the gate. Your membership threw me off, No Name. Man, I know I was talking about the stream yesterday. I was going to mention something and I mentioned on the stream. Don't remember whatsoever. Just boom, gone. Already 200 of you in the room. Smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, please. We just passed 10,700 on our way to 11K. Let's go there. So yeah, a lot of content coming this week. We're going to start transitioning into free agency now that we know defensively what's happening in terms of Fangio and what to look for, et cetera, et cetera. So again, we're going to do the positional review, me and Neil, this week, and then we're going to get into, we're going to start transitioning. And of course, as the news comes, we will continue to feed it your way. Appreciate you, No Names. Thank you, man. What are we talking about? Sorry, I'm just looking at this. Just checking the chat. Listen. You know. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Thank you. Because, of course, some of y'all might not have been watching the live stream yesterday, so I do want to do this because I know I got more eyes right now. Because I know the Tua haters won't do it because, you know, there's a lot of people who aren't real men out here. You know, I was not a fan of Jalen Hurts coming out. As most people know, not a fan of Jalen Hurts at all coming out. And I got to be the first to admit Jalen Hurts' play yesterday was phenomenal. Jalen Hurts was lights out. You know, Jalen Hurts proved people like me wrong yesterday. You know, I'll do what the Tua haters don't have the balls and aren't man enough to do. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Yo, Jalen Hurts did. I did it with Jamar Chase last year, and I'll do it with Jalen Hurts, even though it's 3 years down the line. Jalen Hurts, he has developed into a better passer. Listen, I don't think he's worth more than $50 million a year. I think that's ludicrous. But Jalen Hurts was lights out yesterday. He was a competitor, cool as a cucumber under pressure. Jalen Hurts was very impressive yesterday. Very, very impressive. You could legitimately make the case he outplayed Mahomes. Like, his receivers and his defense let him down. I saw a lot of similarities to what happens to Tua. When Tua balling out and the defense can let him down, or his receivers can let him down. It's the same thing happened to Hurts yesterday, just on a much grander scale and a much bigger stage. But shout out to Jalen Hurts, especially his answer post-game. What a fan. I'm becoming a fan of Jalen Hurts. I was not a fan of this kid coming out of Oklahoma because the CeeDee Lamb tape and Jalen Hurts tape made me not a fan of him. And he's grown as a player. And the answer he gave to Gio the podcaster yesterday about growing and learning from losses and struggles, absolutely, your boy can admit when he was wrong. And Jalen Hurts, unbelievable. Keep that up. Now, like Tua, you're going to have to do that for another year or two. Tua, he's going to have to play how he played for another year or two, but stay healthy in those year or two. That's his caveat. Tua just got to stay healthy. But Tua and Hurts showed their ceilings this year, and now both players, one has to stay healthy, but both players at the end of the day need to consistently keep those ceilings up. So, man, got to give props to Jalen Hurts and the way he played yesterday, man. Got to give Hurts his props. He made some great throws, some nice layered throws. He was very good yesterday. He was not the reason they lost. He's not the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs scored on every possession in the second half. So you got to give Jalen Hurts his flowers, man. You do, man. And I'll be the first to admit, as someone who's not a fan of him coming out, he was fantastic yesterday. He was lights out. Absolutely lights out. So shout out to Jalen Hurts. I'm becoming a fan of Jalen Hurts the person from the answers I saw post-game. Absolute class act. Absolute class act. And we already knew he was kind of a class act. I never had an issue with Jalen Hurts the person. I just didn't like the player coming out. But you knew he was a class act because he took the benching the two in stride like a class act. So nice to see him living up to, it's nice to see the two. Everyone was on the Mac Jones hype train, and now everyone's seen the ceilings of Hurts and Tua, and they're like, oh, damn. That ceiling's much higher for both players than it is for Mac Jones. And let's just hope Tua can. And, I'm going to wish good health for Jalen Hurts because the style he plays, man, you only got a shelf life. You got to become a pocket passer because you got a shelf life with that athleticism and those legs. And that style, you got a shelf life, man. I mean, all of y'all that want Lamar Jackson, this guy's, even less available than Tua Tagovailoa. And, you got a shelf life with that play style. You got to, unless you are like Michael Vick. And even Michael Vick had a play style, right? When he had a shelf life to that play style. When he went to the Eagles, he became more of a pocket passer. Andy Reid helped develop him to a better pocket passer. That's why I'm Mike Vick. Listen, I'm not a fan of what Mike Vick did. Listen, I've owned 6 Dobermans in my life. I'm not a fan of what Vick did. But Mike Vick, the player, and I do think Mike Vick, he looks like a guy who genuinely looks like he's turned a corner. So I do like Mike Vick the person. I think he regrets what he did. I think he knows what he did was dumb, stupid. And I think if he could hop in a DeLorean, he would go back and change it, not just because of how it impacted his career, but how it impacted him as a person. I truly believe that about him. And there's people you can tell that seem remorseful and people that you can tell don't, and he seems remorseful. But I'm a huge Mike Vick guy. That was one of the funnest players I've ever watched in my life. Shout out to Denisha for joining the Ring of Honor. Appreciate you for supporting the channel, Denisha. One of the mods here who's always out here. Her, Brian Gonzalez, Barry Bailey. Knight's always here. Rhino comes when he can. All of you mods that constantly hold it down in the chat. I love all of y'all. Thank you, man, for doing that. And it was her birthday this weekend, so show Denisha some love for her birthday. And I'll be live on Saturday. So here's the schedule. Let's tell you all the schedule. We'll be live on Tuesday. We'll be live on Wednesday. We'll be live on Wednesday and Thursday. I apologize, not Tuesday because it's Valentine's Day. Wednesday, Thursday, and I will be live maybe on Friday, but I know I'll be live on Saturday doing an open show for y'all. It's your boy's birthday on Saturday, so we'll do a little bit of an open show. It's your boy's birthday on Saturday, so I want to celebrate it with the Phinside fam. I want y'all to come up. Let's talk ball. Let's talk life. It doesn't have to specifically be a football. It's a football-oriented channel. I'm sure there'll be football talk, but that's not all we got to talk. You know what I mean? So shout out to Rhino Sid for coming up out of nowhere. Says happy birthday, Denisha. Shout out to everyone in the chat for showing the happy birthdays to Denisha. I appreciate all y'all. Oh shit. Hold on a sec. Let me. Hold on a sec. What is this? What is a managing moderator? Rhino, where are you? I know, Rhino, confirm you're still in the chat right now because you are the only one I will give this to, and I want to see what this means. So, Rhino, let me know if you're in the chat right now. Hit me with that chat because there's some new update in terms of moderator. Okay, check. Let me know what this means, Rhino, because everyone's what's called, apparently when I click down, everyone's a standard moderator. But I can make someone a managing moderator. So, hold on a sec, people. I'm removing Rhino as a moderator. Now I'm going to add him as a managing... Hold on, let me make sure I got the right guy. Hold on. All right, what did I do? You didn't do anything, bro. Let me know what that does, Rhino, because you are now a managing moderator. Whatever that means, I don't know what that means, but you are a managing moderator right now. So let me know what it gives. Click on people. Let me know what it does. I don't know. But you have always been the god of the mod squad, so you're the only one I'm going to give. That's some new fancy wording. So I don't know. You're the only one I'm trusting with that right now. Checking out was a moderator here, but I think he pissed someone off. I don't know, bro. You're a moderator? Here you go. You are a standard moderator. You are not a managing moderator. Let that be known. All right? So, I don't know. Rhino, let me know what that means. I don't know. Rhino's officially the manager. If anyone has any issues, go see the manager. Oh, my God. Oh, there you go. You are now a managing moderator for this channel. This creator trusts you to help build them a positive, safe community. So if you're a moderator, I would need to unmod you, and then I would need to re-add you. Now you can manage blocked words, change chat modes in live, remove and review chat messages, hide or put users on timeout. Huh. Well, there you go. Don't go touching my blocked words. I got certain blocked words in there. That's all I care about. But he can remove and review chat message. Okay, whatever. You're all in trouble now, he says. Rhino's the captain now. Rhino's the captain now. All right? Oh, my God. That's hilarious. That's jokes. Oh, man. Rhino's the captain now. Oh, man. Be on your P's and Q's, people. All right. Well, that's cool. You know what I mean? That makes sense. Assistant. Oh, hey, Bobby. Let's go. Hey, while I know standards ain't much, we'll make Bobby a standard. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, bro? Homie Bobby always supports me. There you go. We make Bobby. There you go. We're just handing out. You get him on. You get him on. All right. Enough of that. We got those updates of standards and managers and I don't know. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have GMs and stuff. I don't know what's happening right now. All right. Now, we got a bunch to go over here. We're going to get into, like I said, we're going to get into Trubisky. We're going to get into everything. And we're going to start off chronologically as we always do here. Now, as you know, I was the first to report that, and I reported to the Patreons and the channel members. Again, if you're a Patreon or a channel member, if you're a channel member, go check out the tab. I just updated it. If you're a Patreon, go check it out. The info's there on a running back I've heard is interested in the Dolphins, as well as some information I got from people connected to the Hurricanes. All right? Shout out to Pyro for becoming a member. So go check that on Butch Berry. So go check that out. Patreon.com/Phinside The NFL, or just hit that join tab right next to subscribe and you can become a member. All right. Anyways, we're going to get into the first thing here. Appreciate you. Knight, I thought you were a freaking mod. So, bro, my bad, bro. Appreciate you, dog. I thought you were a mod, dude. I'm not even lying. All right. So let's get into this right now. If you know, I was the first one. Yeah, I know, bro. Russell says, damn, Pyro just now a member? Slacker, bro. Pyro just decided to show me love. It only took him 3 years. But he just decided to finally show me a little love. Look at that. All right, so let's get into this. If you go back to, I reported weeks and weeks and weeks ago, it was the first one that I heard rumblings that Ed Donatell and Sean Desai could be coming over here with Vic Fangio. Now, Sean Desai specifically. Rex Ryan, Sean Payton seems like he's looking outside Sean Desai. That's the rumblings I'm getting is he's looking out. It's not just Sean Desai. It's not just a given. They are hiring Sean Desai. I mean, and you saw that by them being interested and looking into Rex Ryan. Go hire Rex Ryan, please. I need Sean Desai in Miami. Go do that. That's fine. I'm done. Go take him. And I the longer it takes, the more I'm weary that Sean Desai is going to get that job. And the more confident I am Sean Desai is going to be a Dolphin. Now, hey, I'll continue checking in and I'll bring more info as it comes to me. It's a new week. The Super Bowl ended. People are, now jobs are going to start getting filled. So, I will start checking in specifically. I haven't even checked in on Sean Desai in a few weeks since it broke that Denver was looking into him on Fangio's recommendation. I haven't really done any more groundwork on Sean Desai because I was letting that play out. Then when Rex Ryan got announced in the last couple of days, I made a mental note. I'm going to check in on that this week and try to figure out some more information on Sean Desai. But Ed Donatell, again, I'm under the impression that is still on the table, that he's going to come here. But what got reported on Saturday by Tom Pelissero. Shout out to the homie Houts for making the screen here. The Dolphins requested an interview with Chargers assistant Tom Donatell for their secondary job. Now, for all of you wondering who exactly Tom Donatell is, well, he's assistant secondary coach right now for the Chargers, obviously. And he's the son of former Vikings defensive coordinator Ed Donatell and Vic Fangio's close friend. Tom's been with the Chargers for 2 seasons. And before he went to the Chargers, he was with the Seahawks as a quality control and defensive coach for 4 seasons. And then he was also spent 4 seasons coaching at the collegiate level before joining the NFL ranks. He was a defensive graduate assistant at the University of South Florida and UCLA. So, listen, this would kind of be like a who you know promotion. Seems like, I think Ed Donatell is going to come on as a consultant or a defensive assistant, like one of Fangio's top guys, and this is the favor that's being done. This is a result of relationships, because this is going to be, if he gets this chance, this will be his first non-assistant job. I mean, the next step up, if he gets this safety coach job, would be coordinator or another positional coach job, right? But the next step up would be coordinator. So they're giving the kid the look, and I'm telling you, it's a relationship thing. It is a relationship thing. Now, you can say what you want, nepotism, whatever you want to say, that's fine. But I'm just letting y'all know that's exactly what that is. That is 110% what that is. That is purely, and I scratch your back, you scratch my back situation, and that's fine. Now, continuing to move forward here, let's go ahead and show you what came out about Vic Fangio. Now, I know, unless you've been living under a rock, you already knew this, but I just hadn't done the show, so I hadn't been able to cover it yet. Vic Fangio I'd been helping the Eagles Super Bowl prep on a 2-week deal. This came out yesterday. Vic Fangio had been helping the Philadelphia Eagles prepare for the Super Bowl 52 before he begins his new job with defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins. Fangio signed a 2-week contract with the Eagles after Philadelphia beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And this matters because, guys, if the Eagles would have won, Fangio would have got a ring. Rather than pack up for his move to Miami, Fangio spent the past 2 weeks in Arizona at the Philadelphia team hotel, helping Eagles coaches and players get ready for the Chiefs. More specifically, he assisted the offensive staff in their self-scouting process and supplied knowledge of the Chiefs' defense that he faced twice a year while he was the head coach. Look at this, man. Guys, and did you see what that offense did yesterday? Did you see what that offense did yesterday? This man was helping the Eagles self-scout their offense from the Chiefs' defensive perspective, and look at what Hurts and that offense did to the Eagles yesterday. This man knew how to offensively tear up the Chiefs' defense. I'm telling you, he's going to make Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa so much better. Y'all don't even know. And the Tua haters are quivering. That's why they ain't covering this. That's why some of them be hating on this move, because they know what's coming. Jalen Hurts had arguably his best game as a professional yesterday. I'm just saying. That's got to get you, because everyone's probably going to say, oh, well, the defense got 38. Well, hold on a sec. He wasn't helping out the Eagles defense as much. And I mean, that is great, 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 great stuff right there. All right. That is absolutely fantastic because here's the deal. All right. No one had put up more than 20 points up against the Chiefs in the playoffs. People can hate on the Chiefs defense all you want, but they allowed 20 points to the Jags and they allowed 20 points to the Bengals. But the Eagles come out and put up 35. I'll do you one better. Who's ready for one even better than that? That was the most points the Chiefs had allowed all season. That was the most points the Chiefs allowed all season, and it was because Vic Fangio was helping that offense. That was the most points they put up all season. They have not had 30 points scored on them. You got to go all the way back. They have not had 30 points scored on them since, let me look here, October 2nd. October 2nd, people. 4 months. 4 months. 4 months. I'm just saying. Since he's contractually tied to Philadelphia during this period, the 64-year-old Fangio would receive a Super Bowl ring if the Eagles beat the Chiefs on Sunday, which would mark the first ring of his decorated coaching career. The Eagles had approached Fangio earlier about a consulting role, but he chose to keep his schedule flexible to enjoy his time away from the game. After the Super Bowl, Fangio will head to Miami to sign his contract with the Dolphins. Fangio is, there you go, baby. It's coming. That announcement is coming next week, and we got something else. And even Barry Jackson announced today, said in his article today, that the announcement for Vic Fangio is expected this week. But look at that. Helps the Eagles offense self-scout themselves against the Chiefs defense, and they put up the most points against the Chiefs all season, And the first time the Chiefs have allowed 30 or more points since October 2nd, Fangio played a role in that. Thank you very much. So you're trying to, I keep telling all of y'all, look at what Tua did against man coverage. Look at what Tua did against the Patriots and that 3-4 defense because he saw it every day in practice and he studied it. Now, Fangio's coming in. 11 teams in the league, that's a third of the league, run some form of his defense. To his biggest games he struggled in as a rookie. The Rams, who were led by Brandon Staley, who ran Fangio's defense, and the Broncos, who ran Fangio's defense, obviously. This year struggles against Shanahan. D'Amico Ryans running a version of Fangio's defense. Next game against Brandon Staley, they take away the middle of the field, and the offense struggles what? Fangio's defense. Now he's going to be seeing it every day, studying it. This man is about to learn the cheat codes to a defense that a third of the NFL runs, and the strengths of this defense highlight the weaknesses of Tua's game. This could be the next step to unlocking Tua's potential even further. People need to realize this. If this kid stays healthy and this defense is intact, when we were telling all y'all year 2 of this offense might be historic, that's what we're talking about. This is going to, I'm telling all y'all right now, watch. Right? Tua in zone, when he's got to get off the second, third read. You know, we've seen him, you know, when he's in his rhythm, killing it. But when he's not in his rhythm, he struggles a little. He struggles. Well, he's going to learn. And think of all the disguises he's going to see. Right? He's going to see all the shells of how you can disguise the looks in this defense. So, right? And when we went over the film study, we were showing you, look at how long Roethlisberger was taking his time at the line of scrimmage to decipher what Fangio was doing. That's a guy who at that point in 2017 had been in the league forever. Tua's going to turn into that, where we're going to need to get to the line of scrimmage. That's why it's so important Mike McDaniel needs to get the play calls in much quicker, because Tua's going to need time against defenses like this to go through his order of operations at the line of scrimmage. That's why it's so key McDaniel needs to do that. You can't be walking up with 5 seconds when you're gonna go up against a super disguised coverage that you're gonna have to start deciphering looks with. And mentally, and start processing pre-snap. 5 seconds ain't enough. So, man, I'm gonna tell y'all that this is gonna be this is why I was irritated. Everyone knows I love Barry Jackson. This is why I was irritated when Barry Jackson was like, oh, I don't know why fans are so up in arms about getting Fangio. Because the ripple effect of Vic Fangio. It's not just the defense. He will make Mike McDaniel a better coach. He will make Tua Tagovailoa a better quarterback. And in turn, that will make Tyreek Hill more productive. Jalen Waddle more productive. Our run game more productive. Our offensive line better. The ripple effect from Vic Fangio cannot be overstated enough. It's massive. It's massive. And anyone trying to tell you different, unbelievable. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, one thing we've been talking about with the ripple effect, a name that's been on this, well, a couple of names, but one of the big names that's been on this channel has been Brandon Jones. How's this going to affect Brandon Jones? Because they love the too high stuff. Are they going to turn him into a hybrid linebacker, a la what the Rams did with Mark Barron? What are they going to do here? Right? Because the coverage capabilities of Brandon Jones are not good enough right now. I've mentioned names like Jesse Bates, Von Bell, etc., guys who could come in, maybe a Chancey Gardner-Johnson, although his money might have gone up yesterday. There are options you could do at safety if you want to spend. There's also options in the draft. This is going to have an impact. It's going to have a positive and a negative impact on players. Like, what's it going to do to Jerome McKinley? Jerome McKinley has the coverage skills you want, but he's not quite there yet in terms of his development process. And I'm sure Fangio's going to want a guy with a little bit more filled out in terms of frame-wise. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those kind of stories play out. But then on the flip side, Jalen Phillips, we talked about this. I think Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are going to find the next level under Fangio, right? I've said this. Boyer, I don't think fully knew how to utilize them because his philosophical foundations and beliefs started from the back end to the front, whereas McDaniel, he shares a lot of stuff with Fangio and stuff. It starts with from the front to the back, right? And I think, the second level, that's why I've been on the Levante David train. I want Levante David. I want that second level hyped up. I want that leveled up, that second level leveled up. You know what I mean? Like Super Mario over here. When you hit the box and the star comes out. So, there's going to be a ripple effect across the defense, and it's going to have an impact on players. And we've been talking about that since the Fangio news really broke, and even before Fangio is a possibility. Now, friend of the show and the homie, Daniel Oifusi, dropped a great article. Everyone knows how I feel. I think him and David Fronas, outside of the OGs like Barry Jackson, I think they're two of the best in the game. Daniel, I love his film breakdowns. He relates to a fan like me. You know what I mean? So, let's look at what he said. And this is what he said. He said, what Vic Fangio's arrival as defensive coordinator could mean for Dolphins defenders. With Super Bowl 57 coming to an end, Vic Fangio has concluded his time as a consultant for the Philadelphia Eagles and is soon expected to join the Dolphins as their new defensive coordinator. The longtime coordinator's arrival means new philosophies, principles, and potentially different roles for Miami defenders who have played in a much different system in recent years. He's been a huge help, Eagles defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon told the Miami Herald at the Super Bowl's opening night last Monday. He's a fantastic mastermind and a really good friend. It's just extremely well coached, Gannon added about Fangio's defense, and that's coming from the top down. I think more so anything that scheme or coverages or anything, his guys are in the right spot a lot. If you're watching tape and you know what the ball looks like, his defense looked like good ball. Here is what Fangio's system could mean for several Dolphin defenders. Xavier Howard, since entering the NFL as a second-round pick in 2016, Howard has been one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's been one of the most indispensable players on Miami's defense because of his ability to shadow top wide receivers and use his football IQ to intercept passes. But Howard admittedly had a season that was below his standard in 2022. His 15.6 yards per completion allowed was a career worst according to Pro Football Reference, and he dealt with a groin injury in the first half of the season. In Fangio's scheme, which uses high rates of zone coverage, Howard, who turns 30 in July, won't be asked to follow opposing wideouts as much, but cover a particular spot on the field. Howard has great recognition of route concepts, and with more snaps in zone coverage and his eyes on the quarterback, Fangio could unlock Howard's IQ in a different way to impact games. Now, I agree with Daniel here. I think as Howard gets older, like a mobile quarterback eventually has to become a pocket quarterback. I think predominantly athletic man cornerbacks, as they get older into their 30s, they gotta get more suited to zone because it's just easier on their body, on their legs, on the wear and tear, because it's just less traveling, right? So overall, so I do agree with that. Hopefully, I think Howard's got the IQ. He'll make the transition. I think Howard will be fine. Javon Holland. Holland has put together 2 seasons that have established himself as one of the up-and-coming safeties in the league, but a bigger role could await Holland in Fangio's scheme, which often disguises looks pre- and post-snap. In 2020, safety Justin Simmons led the Fangio-led Broncos with 5 interceptions and was named to his sole Pro Bowl. Simmons patrolled the back end of Denver's secondary, but also played close to the line of scrimmage, logging 319 snaps in the box, according to PFF. Holland was shown the ability to blitz the quarterback. He only trailed teammate Brandon Jones in pass rush snaps among safeties in 2021. And with fewer responsibilities as a deep safety, he could return to a more versatile role. Now, I agree with that. I do agree with that. You're going to see him. He's shown his ability at the line of scrimmage. He's shown his ability to play up in the box. And it was a worry that I had coming out of Oregon when you watch the tape. But then I saw him at the combine. I was like, this man is a lot bigger than he was at Oregon. And I wasn't as worried as what the wear and tear of the box would take on his body. And I do think Javon Holland, but I do think on the same flip side, another safety. Don't just put Javon Holland as the only guy. I think another safety's got to come into play here. Now, I know you see blitzing and your Brandon Jones pops out at you, but remember, your coverage responsibilities. We're always going to go back to that. Now, could they do sub packages where, they got Brandon Jones up in the box and Verone too high with Holland? I'm sure. But you're going to want someone reliable that you can count. Versatility is going to be key back there. you're not going to want to split up duties through sub packages between different players because you can't find a player versatile enough. They're going to look for someone. Kader Kohou. Kohou became the latest undrafted gem for the Dolphins, starting 15 games as a rookie, though he played significant snaps at outside corner. Most of the snaps came from the slot, and that's where his long-term projection is. The Dolphins have better health at cornerback in 2023, and Kohou can return to the nickelback on an every-down basis. It's a position he could thrive in as a second-year player. Part of Fangio's principles in run defense is funneling the ball carrier to the outside so players can come from depth and make stops. Kohou is not only sticking coverage, but one of the defense's most reliable tacklers. With the roll close to the box, Fangio could use Kohou not only coverage and run defense, but maybe as a blitzer too. See, an interesting thing is going to be too under Fangio. Will we be able to develop and find the gems in the secondary the same way we were able to with Boyer and Flores in place? That's going to be very, very interesting to me. That's going to be worth watching. That's going to be because he can develop no-name linebackers and mid-range linebackers can become really, 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 really productive under him. But it's going to be interesting to see because Nick Needham is going to be back too. I think they're going to bring back Nick Needham because Nick Needham, they've been toying with him at safety. He could play the nickel too. Nick will be back. So, Brandon Jones. Jones began the 2022 season as Holland's running mate at safety, but his season ended in Week 7 because of a torn ACL. Before his injury, he was again taking on a role as one of the best blitzing safeties in the NFL and a trusted defensive back in the box. Fangio's scheme uses two high shells often, placing both safeties deep in coverage. In his early career, Jones has struggled at times in coverage. Once Jones returns to the field, one of the most intriguing questions is how Fangio uses the talented safety. Does Miami target another coverage safety in free agency? If so, the Dolphins could play more 3 safety packages, with Jones effectively playing a nickel cornerback or dime linebacker position. Dime linebacker is that hybrid linebacker I've been telling you all about, like a Mark Barron or something like that. And that you could. That's very interesting, man. That's very interesting. That's a conversation me and the Dolphin fan have had multiple times. Do you move Brandon Jones into the box permanently? Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. Over the years, Fangio's defense has brought out the best of many pass rushers, including Chubb, who had 7.5 sacks in 2020 and was named to the Pro Bowl as a member of the Broncos. Well, there's a lot of focus on what Fangio does in the secondary. He's also able to manufacture pressures with exotic schemes and isolate his edge rushers with favorable matchups. And guess what, guys? He does it with 4 or 5 pass rushers. We don't need to send the house. Oh, my God. Similar to the previous defense, Chubb and Phillips will have to be stout against the run and drop into coverage at times, but the pass rush production should also be the beneficiaries of Fangio's presence. The edge players are very important in this 3-4 defense Vic and I have been running these last 8 years. Former Broncos Ed Donatel, who was Fangio's defensive coordinator in Denver, said in 2019, "You need guys that can compress the edge and somebody who can rush the passer." Man, the irony of Daniel quoting Ed Donatel. I love it. I love it. But, man, listen, we're not going to have – see, the thing is, too, this isn't going to be an overly aggressive defense. We're not going to – this is going to be bend, don't break, right? People got to realize we're going to give up yards. We're going to bend, but we're not going to break. We're going to limit the explosive plays, and we're going to try and get to the quarterback with 4 or 5 rushers. And we're going to be stout against the run. So – it's going to be a little bit of a different, it's going to take some getting used to probably for some people, but I'm telling you, man, this defense is going to be worth it. This defense is going to be worth it in the long run, and the ripple effect that Fangio is going to have here. I'm telling y'all, this is the defense we're going to be able to institute and hopefully limit, especially in the AFC with all these big playmakers, limit the big play potential against us. That's going to be the goal, right? So, Jerome Baker had this interesting portion he talked about with Tua, and I wanted to play this for you guys and get your guys' thoughts on it, and because again, it's talking about Tua and the noise and all that kind of stuff. So, check out what Baker had to say on Tua Tagovailoa.
You just mentioned the quarterback, and obviously in the offseason there was a lot of talk about Tua. Is he going to be able to throw the ball to those guys and things like that? But he also comes from a winning culture. I feel like you guys have a lot of people that come from a winning culture as far as college. The Clemsons, Ohio States, the Bamas, and so I'm sure he's heard, you know, the negative, you know, noise before just coming up, and he's played with great players, so he knows how to obviously get the ball to him. Like he played with Judy, Smitty, he played with Ruggs, like he played with all these different guys, and now he's with Waddle again, obviously. But what was it like, you know, being in the locker room with Tua, with Tariq, and obviously having all the outside noise just solely focused on them, and it wasn't positive. It was like you supposed to get Tariq Hill, and like there's supposed to be positive energy, like, oh, the Dolphins are going to be a great team. But I feel like it was the opposite. It was like, can Tua perform? Can he get them the ball? So what was all that? You know, what was that like?
Yeah, I'll say this about Tua, man. He was one of those guys of he heard it. Like he definitely, you can tell that he heard what people were saying, but he didn't look at it as like, oh my God, like they're talking about me. It was like, all right, bet, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. So I just remember like his development over the years when he first came in, and all that tanking for Tua, that was all for him. So the expectations for him was just like through the roof already, and the guy just put his head down and worked. No matter what happened, he worked. He just truly just tried to get better in every aspect of his game. You know, if you was around him, you really admired that. Like he didn't care what nobody said or what any blog or media had to say. He truly knew, like, I'm putting in the work and it's going to work out for me. That's all I know. I'm just going to keep working and working. And even, you know, this year we got, you know, Hill. To me, it was kind of like amazing. Like, how are you going to say something when they haven't even stepped on the field together yet? Like, you can't judge or do whatever, man. You just can't say that. So when this year, when he really started having some success and doing things he's been doing, I was just so happy for him, because it was like, after all this been said, you still do your thing. Like, I truly appreciate that. And when he comes into that locker room, his head is high, he's ready to lead, and he's not afraid of, yo, I messed up. That is very hard to say in a room in the NFL locker room. I messed up, it's my fault. And I truly appreciate how he just went about his business on the field, off the field, his family. Everything he done was just in the right way. That's all he knew. He didn't let anything change him. He didn't care what anybody had to say. He just worked and worked. It's working out.
Now he does look like one of those guys that you talk about. He's done everything the right way. You know, he gets out into the field early. He does a lot of like preparation and things that go into his game. Was there ever a time where he just might have been like out of character, and not out of character in a bad way, but in a way to where it's just like he just let all of his like emotion out, and it was like, all right, too, like it was just something different to see that you saw from him?
Was it ever a time like that? I think the most recent time, whatever game, he didn't have his best game, which anybody that knows, quarterback is probably one of the hardest positions to play. So you're not going to be perfect every game. In this particular game, he just didn't play well, which is fine. But to see him like come up to the huddle, he stood there and he took it like a man of like, I didn't play great. Y'all expect me to play well. I didn't play great. It's not my fault, because we knew it's not just his fault. But he took it as like, I'm the leader. Y'all expect me to do this, and I didn't do it. I apologize for that. For me, it was like, that is I can't even call him a young man. That is a grown man right there. Like, he's truly, this is his team, and we all behind him for that. That was like the most recent moment. He was always just been that guy, man. He's going to do whatever it takes for the team just to win, to push the guys around him. I mean, that's why we all love him. That's why he's our number one quarterback.
I mean, he said he's our guy. He's our number one quarterback. And see, this is why I've always liked Jerome Baker, the person. Now, I've had my issues with Jerome Baker, the player, but he did have a really good year this year. Probably one of his best years as a professional. But, like, I mean, look how candid he was about Tua and Tua's leadership and Tua taking accountability. I mean, you know, you listen to Jerome Baker, and Jerome Baker's a defensive guy, and you can already tell in his voice, Jerome Baker rides for Tua. You can already tell he said that's our guy. That's why this is our guy. Like, you can tell this is our guy. And when you hear that from defensive players, when you hear the appreciation for a quarterback from defensive, because, I mean, you hear ball game's a defensive mind. What does he say? Oh, I don't care about the quarterback position. And a lot of defensive minds are like that. Like, a lot of defensive minds are like that. And Jerome Baker, to see how much he cares and to see what he says, that's absolutely huge stuff. Big ringing endorsement for the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins by Jerome Baker. And Jerome Baker's been here basically through almost, all these regimes, and look at. So, and I believe someone asked me what my thoughts were on Sidney Brown, the safety out of Illinois. I like him, man. He's one of the top 5 safeties, in my opinion, of the draft. I like him. I don't know. I think someone asked me if, in the 3rd round. I don't know if he'll be there in the 3rd round. If he's there in the 3rd round, I'm not opposed to that pick at all. Not opposed at all. So, anyways, let's keep it rolling. Because speaking of the quarterback position, Jeremy Fowler came out with an article, and it was talking about Super Bowl 57 week buzz rumors, and right here about Mitch Trubisky. So Trubisky is a name to watch in the coming weeks. The Steelers would like to keep him, but his $8 million salary on a $10.6 million cap hit is steeper than the usual for a Pittsburgh backup. Miami could be a good fit for him, as the Dolphins need a capable veteran behind Tua Tagovailoa in case concussion issues persist. I kind of want a better option than Trubisky. Trubisky threw, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this year in the games he started. Trubisky's not a winner, man. Sorry. Go get Taylor Heineke. If you're going to go get Trubisky, go get Taylor Heineke. Everyone knows I'm down for Baker Mayfield. But, hey, Ryan Tannehill? I'll take Ryan Tannehill over that guy. Not down for Trubisky. I'm good. That's a pass for me. I'd take Gardner Minshew over Trubisky in a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm not. Trubisky would be very low on my list of free agent quarterbacks. So that's something that seemed more like speculation on Fowler's part. I know it was going around this morning about, Trubisky potentially. I haven't heard anything personally. I don't know about that. To me, no, I'm good. That's a pass. I'd rather develop Skylar Thompson. I'll roll with Skylar as my number 2 over Mitch Trubisky. Sorry. Show me what you got, Skylar. Trubisky, to me, no. He's way, way, way down the list. And again, that seems more so just like speculation on ESPN's part. I'm going to, Taylor Heineke, Baker Mayfield, obviously, is my number 1. Gardner Minshew, Skylar Thompson, all names I will take as the backup over Mitch Trubisky. Sorry. Sticking with ESPN here for a sec. They're talking about how we have no running backs under contract, which is a known issue. And, hey, again, patreon.com/Phinside The NFL, or become a channel member, and you will see which running back I have heard is very interested in coming to Miami if his current situation changes leading up to free agency. So go check that one out. So, with no running back under contract, the Dolphins have key decisions to make. Shout out to homie Marcel Louis-Jacques. So when the Miami Dolphins hired then San Fran 49ers offensive coordinator Mike McDaniel as a new coach last offseason, the expectation was for the NFL's 3rd worst run game to improve. It did, gaining an average of 99.2 rushing yards per game compared to 92.2 in 2021, but it's not the type of improvement the Dolphins fan had hoped for, considering McDaniel's previous role coaching one of the best rushing attacks in the NFL over the past 5 seasons. Miami certainly did its best 49ers impression, but I kept telling all y'all, right, we don't have the personnel on the offensive line. That was the big difference. Anyways, Miami certainly did its best 49ers impression, bringing in former 49ers running backs Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson. The tandem started off promising, but the run game as a whole faltered down the stretch. Neither Mostert nor Wilson is under contract for next season. In fact, the Dolphins don't have any running back under contract entering 2023, but there are options. In his second game with the Dolphins following a Week 9 trade from the San Francisco 49ers, Wilson recorded 119 total yards in a blowout win over the Cleveland Browns. It was the type of performance Miami had hoped would rejuvenate its run game. It made me so happy because I couldn't articulate it, McDaniel said at the time, referring to telling his players what to expect from Wilson. I was like, just wait, guys, just wait. After trading for Wilson, the Dolphins ranked 9th in the NFL in yards after first contact through the remainder of the regular season, which is fantastic. But quarterback Tua Tagovailoa's concussion issues and poor offensive play as a whole down the stretch impacted the Dolphins' efficiency on the ground. There is reason to believe Mostert and Wilson can get the job with Tagovailoa healthy and a far cheaper price than some of the bigger name players on the market. Miami could realistically bring both players back on one-year deals, shore up offensive line, and spend draft capital on a running back to fill out the room, plus via added undrafted free agents. The pipe dreams, though. If the Dolphins want to make a splash at running back, this is the year to do it if they can find the money. Right now, they're projected $12.7 million over the cap, but they can get back under it with salary restructures and other moves. Saquon Barkley is the biggest name on the market, but the New York Giants aren't likely to let him walk. Same goes for Josh Jacobs, who led the NFL in rushing yards this season. Both players are likely to command more than $13 million per season, which would qualify as a short-sighted decision for the Dolphins team not yet bogged down by franchise quarterback contract. They could get away with it in the short term, but it could backfire if they don't win a Super Bowl while Tagovailoa is on a rookie deal. The realistic options: the Carolina Panthers were the 4th best team in the NFL from Week 7 to 18 after trading superstar running back Christian McCaffrey. Why? Because D'Onta Foreman became the league's 3rd leading rusher during that span after taking over as a team starter. He tore his Achilles as a rookie in 2017, but has been relatively healthy since, spending 2 seasons behind Derrick Henry in Tennessee. He's produced when given the opportunity, as the Dolphins found out in 2021 when he ran for 132 yards on 26 carries in a blowout Titans win. Kareem Hunt wanted out of Cleveland prior to the 2022 season, but his trade request was denied. Instead, he put together a relatively unproductive 4th season with Browns, as starter Nick Chubb remained healthy for all 17 games. Hunt has proven capable of high-level play when called upon to carry the workload and is an effective runner and receiver. The other thing that can't be missed here that Marcel didn't mention, guys, there's not a lot of tread on Kareem's tires. For a guy that's 27, doesn't have a ton of tread, right, because how he's been used. Rashad Penny is an interesting candidate because of his injury history. Tore an ACL in 2019 and broke a leg in 2022, and a handful of soft tissue injuries have suffered in between. That's the bad news, but he's undeniably talented runner when he's healthy. From Week 14 of the 2021 season to Week 5 of 2022, he led the NFL in rushing yards and ranked 2nd in yards per rush behind Josh Allen. The former first-round pick is all but finished in Seattle after the emergence of Seahawk rookie Kenneth Walker, and the Dolphins haven't hesitated to add players with injury concerns. Man, D'Onta Foreman and Kareem Hunt are interesting, but I'm good on the Rashad Penny all day. So, honestly, it's going to be interesting because he didn't even go over any draft names in this, right? And there are some legitimate draft names right now. So, everyone knows how I feel about my boy Devin A-Chain out of Texas A&M, but he ain't the only one, right? There are a ton of great names available, and I'm actually surprised that Marcel Louis-Jacques didn't go over them because, you're talking about like Jack Charbonnet, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Gibbs, Devon A-Chain, Zach Evans, Kendre Miller, Tank Bigsby, Sean Tucker, Tyjae Spears, who everyone's talking about after the Senior Bowl. There's names out here, Keaton Mitchell, and they're just not talking about them. They just talked about, and honestly, that's the route I would go. I think this is very deep. I would bring back Raheem Mostert. I would bring back Salvon Ahmed or Jeff Wilson, and I would draft a guy. Spend the capital and draft a guy. It's time. That's my thoughts. And I look at, we didn't even talk, this draft is very, very deep. Very, very deep. So at that position. So that's where I'm at. In case you guys are wondering, now that it's over, the Super Bowl odds for next year. Super Bowl odds for Super Bowl 50 53 here, you see, look at the Dolphins right there, plus 3,000. So right now we have the 14th best odds, technically. 14th best odds, according to FanDuel right now for next year. Texans plus 28,000. Gotta love it. I do like Gray. I like Eric Gray from Oklahoma. I like him. I'm a fan. But see, why I want to draft a running back, I want to shore up this offensive line, the second level, and get the secondary tweaked for Fangio. All that to me is more important. Just my opinion. Right? And then, finally, guys, in case you didn't see it, ESPN came out with the early power rankings today. In case you didn't see it. And now we can jump to, but they got Kansas City at 1. They got the Eagles at 2. They got San Fran at 3. Bengals at 4. Bills at 5. The Cowboys at 6. Chargers at 7. And there are the Dolphins right at 8. They have the Dolphins right now, and the offense, in 3 or fewer words, just get healthy. While operating at 100%, this team proved it could be among the best in the NFL. The problem came when the Dolphins were at 100% for only a handful of weeks. The return of Brandon Jones and Nick Needham should shore up the defense, which stands to improve with the addition of coordinator Vic Fangio. Tua Tagovailoa's concussion issues provided to be one of the biggest stories of the league last season, but Miami is confident that after a season of off-season of rest, he'll be good to go for 2023. So already the expectations heading into this season for the Miami Dolphins are real, people. I love it. Already 8th ranked on the early, very way premature power rankings. Free agency and the draft hasn't even happened, but the way I look at it, the only way we can go is up in those rankings. That's how I look at it, right? Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. Happy Valentine's Day for all of you. Unless something massive breaks tomorrow, I will be back on Wednesday with Richmond and Ball Game. Then I'll be back on Thursday with Neil Driscoll. I'll be live Saturday because it's my birthday, and we'll be doing an open panel stream for everyone to come through, show some love, talk some ball, talk some life. Appreciate each and every one of you for coming through on this Monday night. Hope all of you have a fantastic, fantastic Monday night. Expect a Fangio announcement this week. When that happens, you know your boy will be live. And guys, patreon.com/Phinside The NFL or become a channel member. I've got a latest update on Butch Berry and a running back that is interested in coming to Miami if his current situation allows him to come here in free agency. So go check that out as well on Patreon. Every Thursday, 3 Takes Thursday, and episode 5 will be dropping this Thursday. Love each and every one of you. I will see all of y'all on the next one. Until then, fins up all day, every day, even beyond the great in which we'll lay. See all y'all next time, and all the haters will see y'all in Super Bowl 53. Oh, yeah. Fins up, baby.